And then I do some, oh my gosh, I drew some DIYs. Oh my God. Draw this in your style. I tried to do this digitally and it did not turn out right. Hey there everyone, my name is DepMythMoon and today I'm going to be sharing my sketchbook number 6. This is going to be the first sketchbook you see of mine. I have like one I completed before this one, but we'll say that one for another time with the other old sketchbooks. So for now, follow along with me as I flip through this sketchbook. It's one of the ones that I'm pretty proud of. It is an Illo sketchbook and it's the 8x8 size. So I use a bunch of different medias in here, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. To start off, we have my goals. I'm sorry, my voice wavers, I'm nervous too. So I completed a majority of my goals. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one. So the 3 I didn't was try different poses, give characters expressions, and show characters interacting. This one right here, this one scares me the most. So yeah, you'll get jack squat if, you find this, which you won't because I'm not losing it. This is a list of all my OCs, and the ones with the stars are shared OCs with me and my best friend. So we have a story, and I like drawing those characters because first and foremost, I am a writer. So I love writing, and the reason I got into art was just to have my characters from my writing come to life. So, I started this on December 29th, 2020, and I finished on October 17th, 2021. So that was 9 months and 18 days. And I drew this one when I first started the sketchbook, and I came back at the end and drew this. So we starting off this sketchbook with a spread. I was like, oh, I've never had a sketchbook like this before where I can draw over the center line. So I wanted to try that out. So here is my OC, Erica Wise. I didn't feel like coloring this because I thought I would mess it up. So that's why it's like that. And I got a bunch of expressions off Pinterest, and you'll see that a lot through this sketchbook. And I date all of my pages, of course. So this is my other OC, Anais Kennedy. So she is the side character to Ohuhu, who is one of my main characters. I love him to death. Like, he's been with me for a minute. He's like one of my oldest OCs that I have. So I love that guy. And this is her playing with some colors. And then I realized too late, I was like, oh, I should make this purple because he's purple and I want her to go along with him. But that gets fixed later. Yeah. I don't really know her personality too much. I just know she's a good person. That's it. And he's trying to be the evil overlord of Earth, but she tricks him into thinking good deeds are actually evil. Y'all will see in the future. So these characters are another story that me and my best friend have called The Wild Bunch that y'all will probably never see because I'm supposed to write the first book and I never got to it. So yeah, this is stuff about them. Feel free to pause and read. And then, yeah, I make little notes and comments in my sketchbook. So, yeah, I noticed myself, like, drawing smaller. And they just all look ugly. Don't worry about them. This is my OC, Twisty. I don't know anything about this woman. Like, I don't know if she's an alien, if she's a human. She just exists because I wanted to draw something with highlighters at work. So, I drew her. She partakes. I will not say what kind of substances. Just, she does. And I have a little color chart because I was trying to get serious with this sketchbook. Yeah, learning color theory, which I did not do. Anyways, okay, this is what I like to call them, the horny trio. This is Artemis, this is Orion, and this is Paya. So they have a story together. I'm not sure what that story is exactly, but it exists and they're together. And I redraw this later in the sketchbook. So these are also pretty older OCs. So you'll see her in like one of my previous sketchbooks and him in a super old sketchbook that I don't know if I'll ever show. But they both got a big glow up. And they get an even bigger glow up further on. And yeah, one of my goals was drawing full bodies because I don't like doing that. So moving on. Oh, this was my birthday. So January 4th, just for y'all to know. So this was my birthday and my mom got me a bunch of like little novelty earrings and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, I tried to cook something in burnt rice. Like, I make edible meals. I do not make good meals. This was when I was still subscribed to Art Snacks. So I am no longer subscribed. That is, a little too much money for me right now. I hate this page. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I hate this page. This is my Naruto OC Nanashi. And I was trying to see about, you know, changing her character, giving her a little update, a little refresher. But yeah. Just some pose reference. I was on Line of Action. And I just did some, I guess, contours because I didn't, you know, go into the lines. On the back of that, I drew me and my best friend's characters. No, I always mess up her names. So Jin and Kiara. That's all you need to know. And yeah, I was thumbnailing for the first time in forever. And yeah, just drew the exact same thing. Yep, I use Ohuhu markers, by the way. This was when I had a Minecraft server with my brother and his friends who were playing AutoCraft, which is super hard, by the way. Would not recommend if you do not have an in-depth knowledge of Minecraft and mods. Just don't do it to yourself. Just studying how to do some profiles with some kind of marker. And then this is my, okay, you'll know about me. I love fandoms. I hyperfixate like once a week. So this is my Harry Potter OC Emmeline, or Emmeline Wisp White. And you know, she's around that Marauders era. She ends up in a love triangle with Snape and Sirius. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, she was friends with Lily. And she's super smart, super intelligent. I'll probably share more with her as we go through. This is when I got my POSCA markers, and these are like the medium size. I just recently got a smaller size because them big old nibs trying to draw like at the size that I draw, not it. So this is just a random character I made to test out the colors. And then these are all of my Naruto OCs. So this is Nanashi. And then, you know, I forget their names because I don't really draw them no more. So you can just forget they exist. They'll pop up here and there though. This is also Erica. I am not going to be surprised if you could not recognize her because I draw her different every time. I cannot draw characters consistently. So this was me just playing around with her in some different outfits. Then I wanted to change up my style a little bit and I wanted to see how more detail would look. And I like how some of these came out. I like the wording in the back and everything, but you know, ignore that. That's pretty nice. I liked it. This reminded me of Aoyama from BNHA, but let's not talk about that. This is me playing with that style again. I love these two characters. Don't know who they are. I just drew them and I love them. So accept it. He was like a character that I would draw on Instagram. Like when I was doing my 100-day challenge, I drew a character like him and he has like purple hair. And yeah, if you see, this is a glow up compared to the other stuff I was drawing, and that was digital. And yeah, under here, this was just the cover of this mess that looks like Levi. Anyway, this character, I don't think I have a name for her, but she's based off of like this toxic symbol. So I've drawn her kind of like this before with the hair, and I was like, oh, what would it look like down? And I wanted to give her outfit a revamp because she just had like a lab coat, and I was like, that's kind of lame. Let me up her up. So she got this little garter belt, whatever. Okay, so this was a character creation challenge that my best friend came up with. She gave me some prompts and I created a character based off of it. And then I got some more prompts from fantasynamegenerator.com/character descriptions, if you were wondering. So yeah, I just drew some thumbnails of him and I'm like, oh wow, I like this. And so I colored him in, I have, what are these? The Tombow dual brush pens. Yeah. So I use those a lot in the sketchbook because I was too scared of using alcohol markers and messing up the other side of the page. So I use these a lot. Then this is a redraw of like a Steven Universe fan art that I did like last year. And I'll try to, you know, put a little photo up there or over here so y'all can see what the past one looked like. This is a glow up, but I still had the wrong colors. Moving on. This was when I decided to create my OC Ophelia. She is going to be Orion's little sister, and this was her original little design I came up with. I did it in POSCA, and I mean, she was cute. I love the idea. I love the concept of this little jacket. It just would not work. I redo it later in the sketchbook. Again, we have Erica looking not the same at all, but you know, I like these little drawings, these doodles. This is a little doodle of me. I draw myself a lot of my sketchbooks. It's just the easiest thing for me to draw, okay? I'm sorry. So anyway, This was on Valentine's Day, so my best friend got me a little sloth plushie because I love sloths. If you couldn't tell, you know. But yeah, she got me a sloth plushie, and his name was Winslow, and so I did a little doodle of him. And then I love puns, so I also drew this in here as like a card Kane would give to Kiara. Now, moving here, I have a lot of days where I cannot draw for the life of me. And I try to force myself through it, but y'all, I could not get it this day. I really wanted to give up. It happens like this all the time. Like I just get so frustrated that I just want to quit art. And you know, this one is okay now that I'm looking at it. Like I lined it and gave it color, but it's still ugly. And you know, Bakugo, of course, because gotta let you know the anime is still strong within me, even when I'm close to giving up. Almost every time I have a bad art day, the next day, was this the same day? Yeah, I did this like early, like in the early hours of the morning, and later I came back and drew this right here. One of my favorite things in a sketchbook, not even gonna lie, one of my favorite things. And my brother has this like clothing brand that he draws in all his artwork. So I decided, I was like, hey, you know what? This kind of cool. I wanna do the same pose and throw that in there. So that was that, and I love it. I referenced something on Pinterest, which if you ever see this little pinspo thing, that means something of it was referenced from Pinterest. Then this was when WandaVision was going strong. I am a huge Marvel fan. So this was WandaVision, you know. And I was having a bad art day again. Well, or just a bad mental day, yeah. Oh, like I said, I sit there for hours not knowing what to draw, and this is all I came up with for the rest of the day. So yeah. This was a redraw as well. Like I did this was like the challenge, and I did a version that looked like this years ago. And then I was like, you know what? I want to redo it because I'm not the same as I was years ago. So I redid it, and this is the thumbnail I came up with. And I did some other poses to try and see it, but I really like this one. I like it even more than this one. I did this with the Tombow markers, and then this is done with the Ohuhu markers and some little gold accents and stuff. It's not that shiny, so I ain't gonna even bother flipping that page. Her face, and just I can't do backgrounds. That is a goal in my current sketchbook, but you know, I can't do it. This is me just, you know, trying to practice heads. Not very good at it. And then this was just Instagram requests that I did for some people. I put their @ on the side so I always remember. And yeah, I really like this one. Again, practicing heads on the marker, bleed through, some noses, trying to see how I like them. And I think I did this page before this one. Yeah, because this is the 6th, this is the 5th. So I wanted to developing my characters more because I just draw them the same way every time. And now I really want to get into not just going with the first design I created for him. So yeah, this is my OC Artemis, and I eventually ended up going with something closer to this. So now he only has one horn. So yeah. That was also a request. I feel so bad for how this came out. I just don't like it because I can't draw characters interacting. This is Emmeline. Excuse the language. I'm not gonna bleep it out. I'm sorry. If you're too young to be seeing language like that, you're too young for this channel. I'm sorry. This is her. Just trying to develop her some more, figure out what kind of personality and stuff she has. And yeah, she had the time turner. She's kind of like Hermione on steroids. Testing out some markers and stuff that I got from a Art Snacks, another request from Instagram. This was also me thumbnailing for a request for Instagram, and they gave me Shepherd in a Meadow, Lawyer Working in Office, and Male DJ in Club. So I thumbnailed all 3, and I like this one the most, so I kind of zoomed in on her face, like what do I want her to look like. And I have that. Let me just, give me a second. Here, that drawing is. So, you know, it's one of my first background drawings, so I'll always be proud of it. And I did reference something like heavily for this background. So if you look up like lawyer image, you might be able to find it super easy. I referenced that, put her in there, and this is the first time I've ever drawn a character in the background. It doesn't look as good as this thumbnail, but I tried, okay? And then here were some inky doodles. Like I went in with some pencil and just lined them just to play with some styles and junk. And I really like how this came out. Of course, me, because it's easy. And I never know what to draw, so I just default to myself. And then this was like a frat bunny my best friend's younger sister drew, and so I redrew it. And yeah, That face, it had me, I'll say, in a chokehold. It's just too funny. This is my OC Black Star Sapphire. So, of course, we're back at it again. Oh my God, all the white done messed up on it. Something rubbed off on it. Okay, that sucks. But anyway, yeah, this is my Steven Universe OC. I had like full lore for this. Like, black diamond exists in junk, bro. I was deep. When I hyperfixate, I hyperfixate. Of course, I had to ship her with somebody. Like, I can't just throw her in here and not ship her with somebody. So I chose Lars. You know, him and Sadie didn't work out. She got him now. That's it. And this is another Instagram request that was just randomly thrown in on the page because I think I drew this first and then drew this around it. So this is me. I got some, let me get one. I don't think this is the one exactly, but I got some markers like this, and they're kind of like liquidy and kind of like watercolor in a pen. And so I got a few of those, and I was just testing them out, watering it down. And this is when I binged Demon Slayer in like a day. Literally binged it in a day. Was obsessed. I still have not watched the movie, so do not come for me. I'm sorry. But yeah, I wanted to draw some characters based off of Rui. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but that's how I say it in my head. But yeah, like Rui and Tanjiro mixed. Who knows? I'm not gonna lift this up because it's truly horrendous. It's supposed to be Erica, and of course you don't look the same. Me. Are you even surprised at this point? Over here, I was kind of doing the same thing, but I wanted to test out a different line style because I was watching Bannock Draws on YouTube, and they had like these little lines that they would bring out for the line art, and I like that, so I snatched it. And then just drew these random characters, trying to work on keeping features in my art style because I'm not the best at it and I want to get better, so I tried. And then this was me, my best friend, and her younger sister. We kind of matched Bitmojis together because we do that occasionally. And so this was the first one. We were the cow pack. Her boyfriend joined in as well. And so I had to, you know, begrudgingly add him up in there. And then this is us when we did the SpongeBob thing. So yeah, he didn't get in that one. This is me doing something with POSCAs because I realized it's been a while since I used them. So I just threw this together. I'm not the happiest with it at all. I like kind of the colors. I just don't like how it looks. Me having another bad art day. Like, I didn't really know what to draw. And so, yeah. There's some doodles in this guy from Demon Slayer page, I guess. Practicing bodies because, again, that's one of my goals and I need to get better at it. But, just so you know, I did not use this. This is the halfway thing. I don't really like it at all. That's why it's not colored. Like, I drew this first, hated it, and then I just drew them like in their default ways. Didn't even bother erasing the pencil. And then this horrible gradient. Like, ugh. Some doodles. It was a little while since I drew, and I was trying to get back into the swing of things, but I was frustrated again. So I resorted to my other inspiring situation when I don't know what to draw, which is copying other people. Now, I don't trace or anything, but occasionally I will sit there and just look at other people's art and try to draw it and maybe take some of my style inspiration and add it in there. But I'm mainly just trying to see how other people draw things and see how I can take it into my style. So yeah, and I always link and I never post. So do not trace and do not post any kind of copy art. That's bad. Yeah, me practicing some faces, trying to do it kind of in my style, but I use a reference for this. And then this is the reference I use for these two. Yeah, I like the shadows. Again, a bad page with Nanashi. This was after, I think I redid her design. Like, I did a digital drawing of her, and this was after her redone design. And I listed the colors here that I did in Tombow's, but I did not put the color number. So that was real dumb of me. Practicing bodies again a little bit. Just trying to do it how I want to. And yeah, not that good. Not even gonna lie. This is Kane and Kiara. Like, I draw him so ugly sometimes. But I love these little doodles here. Like, they were kissing and she caught them. And yeah, she's just super shy and embarrassed. So, but she ships them so hard, bro. Like, she's their #1 fan. This is the glow up I was talking about. So Grover and Lori had glow up. She was supposed, I've never drawn her black, but she was supposed to be black that whole time. So I finally got her. But yeah, I love how they came out. Like, oh my God. Grover, that mullet, I'm sorry. And here, just wanted to do a super extra page, you know, get a background and everything. And I like it. I cut it out. I did it on some other paper. It's nice. Just a bunch of BNHA stickers. Testing out some more stuff from Sketchbox. Went to see Black Widow that day because I am a Marvel fan. I don't know if I've said it. But this was when I was sketching to do my Meet the Artist for 2021. I recently done another one for 2022. You can check that out on my Instagram. Anyway, so yeah, this was the Meet the Artist for that. I like this little style, but I don't think I ended up going with it. I like these more, to be honest. This is Anais. I tried to redesign her to make her more sweet looking. Played around with some curly hair, but ultimately decided we're gonna stick with the same thing. Did some color testing. Ohuhu is a short king, by the way. He is a short king. That's all you need to know. This here is like a persona type thing I tried to do because I wanted to mix myself and, you know, a sloth. And I have this sloth plushie that I was referencing. And bruh, I did this with crayons. I don't know what I was on this day, but it came out so good to me. And I tried to emulate it in markers. Did not come out as good, but I love this character. And when you'll notice, when I love something, I draw it a lot. I draw it like back to back. So I tried to get the same energy. And while I love that I did another pose, it's so cute, it doesn't have the same energy as the other one. So yeah, just doodle her a little bit more. This is in gouache, the ArtX Gouache, that jelly gouache stuff, which I barely ever use. And I did it a bit too dark, but it's still cute. It's still cute. I love the dynamic pose. This was a 3 color pencil challenge that I did. So I just took 3 color pencils randomly and just drew some stuff. Like I use reference for hair and maybe expression sometime, but I really love this one. This one is so cute. And I really like this one, but my best friend came up to me like the next day and I had to do a whole comic about it. Like when I posted it, she sent it to me on freaking Snapchat. And she was like, it looked like Sid the Science Kid, bro. I was so disappointed because I was so proud of that drawing and she just crushed my dreams, okay? And so then I went on and tried to do, because I love drawing situations like with my characters in writing. I like seeing it drawn out. So I tried to do it. It was real quick and it looks ugly, but I'm still proud and happy to see it. So, you know, if you can see it, go ahead and feel free to read. Kirby. Yeah, because I main Kirby in any kind of Smash Bros game. I main Kirby. I'm sorry if you're mad about it. Argue with your mama, not me. I will continue to main Kirby. Sorry. And then this was, I don't know why I put this on this page, but this is for another character. But me and my best friend went out to get boba, and so I was just drawing this. I guess that's why I put it there. And yeah, oh my god, that tiramisu boba, it's a dude at the boba shop I go to. He makes the best boba. I'm sorry, I had to go off. He deserves everything in the world. And then this was a doodle for a character kind of generation prompt, and I based it off of my best friend. And yeah, this was the day that I lost my piercing. Like I hadn't had my piercing for a while because the hole closed up before I could put the piercing back in, and I didn't realize they closed that soon. So I had it out for a whole day and then expected it to go back in. It did not. So anyway, some practice. I really like how these poses came out, really, to be honest. And this is some more character type stuff with the shared OCs me and my best friend have. These are mainly placeholders for 2 characters because I have not designed them yet. And I don't know if I'll design them anytime soon, but they're just placeholders. I don't know what they really look like. But yeah, feel free to read stuff like this. Oh yeah, that's Ethan. That's gonna be Jin's man. And he is a super villain, by the way. And them two, Kiara and Ethan, they got beef, you know? They just got beef. I'm not gonna explain it. Anyway, I practiced some hands and then I was like, you know, I really want to do a full spread thing again with color. Like I haven't done that yet. And so I did this. And while I like the colors, like I did watercolor for the skin and then gouache for the hair. While I like the colors, I didn't have like a thin enough brush. So the lines got too thick for me and it's cute, but I could have done it better. I may redraw it. This is Ethan. I love this drawing of Ethan. My best friend loves this drawing of Ethan. He just looks hot. Let's just say it. He looked hot. This is reference, of course, because I don't draw hands like that. But this is reference and feel free to read about them. I drew these first and then came back and drew this, like with a more accurate description of his design. But yeah, He cool. Then I got obsessed once again with their story, and I was like, you know what if they had a mafia AU? And so this is Kiara and this is Jen, and it's like she's the boss because in our story she's a queen, so she's gonna be Kiara as the second hand man, or the right hand. Yeah, that's what it is. And so yeah, I was thumbnailing using references from stuff, and then eventually just decided on like a walking scene. And I think I tried to do this digitally and it did not turn out right. But yeah, so when I say I hyperfixate on things and I get obsessed with things, I'm not kidding. I got so obsessed with this AU that I made a whole like storyboard and I wrote it out and everything. I was deep in that AU. So that took me like a whole day. I'm never gonna flesh it out. It's just gonna be in this sketchbook, but I'm so happy to see it and glad that I did it. This was me and my best friend planning out their, like in the story with Kane and Kiara in them. Since she's a queen, we were planning out what her castle would look like. I don't know if this is going to be the final thing, but this is the gist. And then I was at work one day and I came up with this little monster, so I just went ahead and fleshed him out. It's a giant. I don't draw stuff like this normally, but it was fun. I went ahead and did like a blob challenge. I do this like almost once in every sketchbook. So I had my mom draw some shapes for me, and then I would fill them in with stuff. And man, this page, I think I did this one first and then this one second. But this page right here, I don't know what was going on, what I was on when I did this, but I love this. I love what I was able to create with these blobs, especially these two. Like, oh my God. These, you know, I don't know how I came up with this, but I wasn't as focused on, you know, filling the whole shape as I was getting an idea down. So I really like these. Then doing some Pinterest studies. I do these occasionally in my sketchbooks and I really like how this one came out. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah. This again is Erica and she does not look anything how she usually, like I cannot draw her the same to save my life. Ever. Like it's a struggle, a daily struggle. Then just drawing some random stuff I saw on Pinterest and junk. I like it. I like these glasses a lot. And I really like this style. I was trying to see how I could do eyes differently. And didn't keep any of it. This was when Squid Game came out. Of course, I had to have a page dedicated to it. Had to make the card. Yeah, that was a good show. This is the first animal drawing I have done in this sketchbook, and I think one of the only ones I've done in this sketchbook. And so I was thumbnailing. My best friend gave me another idea. So I was trying to draw like a centaur. So I had to learn how to draw a horse first to then learn how to draw the centaur. And I think, yeah, everything on this page is a reference from something else. So had a couple ideas like, oh, it could be a drawing of like the phone and you see them through the phone, or maybe it's like one of them holding up a Polaroid and you have this little aesthetic background there. And I was like, oh no, actually let's do them like outside, jumping around, having fun. And then I tried to actually do that and it came out that it's not connecting. This is not this. So I gave up, didn't even bother coloring it. Like the torso, where the leg, you know, I gave up. Did the little doodle. That was a cool idea too. Just having like Polaroids I got from there. So yeah. Then I tried drawing dragons because I have a story that I'm supposed to be revamping and I want to try illustrating it, I guess, maybe one day. So I tried to learn how to draw dragons. These two are my favorites, but I'm not sure how I can make it like kid-like and keep it nice looking because I don't draw animals. So this is a drawing of my cousin. Just doing some drawing requests. I was sick this day. Yeah. And Tiramisu, I don't know, she does these little flower type things and details and I love them. So I just filled in empty space with it. Then drew my aunt a chicken with a chicken nugget, you know, chicken noodle soup. These were some of the things people suggested I draw while I was, you know, doing those requests. And then I do some, oh my gosh, I drew some DIYs. Oh my God. Draw this in your styles. I did a few of those and I like that I fit them all on a page. Like one thing about me is I'm gonna do a draw this in your style challenge every time. Like I just love doing them because it gives, like, I'm not the type of person that can come up with drawings easily. So just having draw this in your styles really saves me. It really did. If you see like my first sketchbooks, it's full of them. So doing some more studies, trying to get better at bodies, but still don't draw bodies. So useless or not, you'll see. Oh, this is when I redid her design. So finally realizing like, man, this thing really don't work. And I didn't want to give everybody the same kind of horn. So I redesigned her and she cute. Like I really love how I came up with her design. And I was tempted to give her these horns, but you know, I wanted some curly ones. So that's what happened. And then just doodling on the back, her, just seeing how it would look, giving her a little personality. Her and her brother, he kind of raised her. And then here I was just doing some of my, these are like my original 5 characters. Like I've had these since one of my first completed sketchbooks. And yeah, I just did a little swatch of them, got their colors written down and with their updated designs. I do this almost in all my sketchbooks. This was something my brother's girlfriend drew. She gave me a list of anime to watch and I got through quite a few, but you know, I got to get Netflix back to go back to watching them. Oh, and I got my piercing back on October 15th. So it's almost been a year since I had it back in. Oh, here's the redraw of that first drawing of the trio with Ophelia added. And her arms are long as heck. Like I always mess up somewhere on big drawings. But yeah, this is them. I guess it's a little upgrade. I'm going to try to go back to the page so you can see from that, I guess, to that. I'd say it's some decent improvement, not to toot my own horn, but this drawing I was so proud of. Like it's Orion and he tries to put on a tough guy kind of persona, but he's not. He's the opposite of that. But this is my first time drawing leather and everything, and I loved how it came out. I just love everything about it. Even like I loved it. And yeah, I wanted to keep track of my followers and stuff on whatever social media I had, but I stopped using this account, so I have a new account and started over. And of course swatches for my Ohuhu markers. And I think, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. All right. So thank y'all for coming along with me on my first ever sketchbook tour. I was nervous and you know, I hope everything came out good. So if y'all are seeing it, then I got over my nervousness and decided to post it. So yeah, thank y'all for watching and y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.